guys. Now, I am still suffering from a little bit of a cold, as you can probably hear, but I think I'm over the brow of the hill of it, so I feel well enough today to record my latest Doctor Who review. I may decide later on to re-record my review of Dot and Bubble, because at that point I really wasn't sounding great, but I may do that later, I may not, we'll understand. Anyway, the latest episode is called Rogue. Now, first thing I do want to mention is that this episode ended with a commemoration of, well, an acknowledgement of the great William Russell, who sadly passed away while I was away. Now, for those who somehow don't know, William Russell was an actor. Well, there are several William Russells, but the one I'm talking about is an actor who played the first Doctor's companion, Ian Chesterton, back in the 1960s. He was around with William Hartnell's first Doctor and Jacqueline Hill's Barbara Wright and Carol Ann Ford's Susan Foreman for 12 adventures in 1963 to I think 1965. And the great William Russell, he was born in 1924 and he died, as I said, about a week ago. But he was 99 years old, he'd done his time, but they did bring him back in 2022 for Jodie Whittaker's last episode, so he did do one final role in Doctor Who at 96 years old. So I just want to start off this review by acknowledging the great William Russell. Anyway, on to the episode itself. The latest episode is the 6th episode of the 14th series, or the first season, whichever you want to do. And it's called Rogue, and it's written by Kate Herron and Bryony Redman. Now, previously with Series 14 so far, I'd have said that the episode I thought was best was Stephen Moffat's return episode, Boom. Sorry, Stephen, you've been pushed off by Rogue. Because for me, this was a great episode, and one I absolutely loved. So, it's Bath. It's the city of Bath, and it's 1813, which is during technically the reign of George III, but by this point in his life he'd gone a bit cuckoo, and so his son George IV had taken over as king. So that doesn't actually play a role in the story, but I just thought to mention that. The 15th Doctor, played once again by Ncuti Gatwa, and his companion Ruby Sunday, played by Millie Gibson, they've arrived in 1813 just to have some fun in Georgian England, just to attend a Georgian party and have fun, with the party being attended by several kind of higher-up people in society. Lord Barton, played by Paul Foreman, Lord Galpin, played by Maxim Ayres, the Duchess of Pemberton, played by Indira Varma, and Emily Beckett, played by Camilla Aiko. Now, one of these I do actually quickly want to kind of look at, or briefly mention, is the Duchess of Pemberton, who's played by Indira Varma. Now, this is actually a returning actress to the Doctor Who universe, because you may or may not remember, Indira Varma has actually appeared in the Whoniverse before. Back in 2007, she appeared in the first series of Torchwood, where she played failed Torchwood member Susie Costello, a woman who, safe to say, she didn't have the best relationship with Eve Miles' Gwen Cooper, at one point even shooting Captain Jack Harkness in the head, and then was later shot to death by him when she attempted to absorb the life force of Gwen Cooper. Appearing in the episodes Everything Changes and They Keep Killing Susie. Now, while they're just there to have fun, the Doctor notices a mysterious man overlooking the balcony. He goes up there to talk to the man while Ruby ends up going off to enjoy the festivities, and Ruby ends up encountering a woman named Emily Beckett, as I said, played by Camilla Aiko, and finds that she's in a little bit of a tangle. Like, she's under the Georgian social pressure. She wants to be able to do her own thing, but doesn't quite know how to do it, or at least that's how it seems. Meanwhile, the Doctor ends up going up to the balcony where he meets Rogue, a bounty hunter disguised as a Georgian man, played by Jonathan Groff. And I'm going to say it, I love this character. Because Rogue, as he calls himself, sorry, hold on. Rogue is, well, At first, he starts off kind of being very cold towards the Doctor, but then when he finds out the Doctor is actually an alien and he's had several faces, he takes the Doctor to his ship with plans to try and dispose of him. He believes that the Doctor is an alien species that he is hunting down, known as the Chulder. He believes there's only one Chulder at the party. However, upon finding out the Doctor is not the Chulder, the two of them team up together in order to try and figure out who the Chulder is and get things back under control. Meanwhile, Ruby and Emily, upon searching the party, find various people being killed, and they come to realise that that a large portion of the party guests, or at least 4 of them, are actually Chulder. It's not only one Chulder they're hunting down. It turns out the Chulder are like big, kind of like a cross between humans and birds, and their main thing they want to do is cosplay. Technically, they want to take over human bodies and just have fun with it. Have a party, be flamboyant, enjoy themselves, because that's the way they kind of look at it. Ruby even mentioned several times this is just like Bridgerton, which for them it is. Personally, I've never seen Bridgerton, so I can't really comment on that, but yeah, I do like that. But as I said, the highlight of this story is Rogue, because he is, at the start you do get his kind of gruff character, but then once the Doctor actually shows him the inside of the TARDIS, you can see that they build a bond very quickly. Like his own ship is cluttered, but he can see how clean the Doctor's TARDIS is, and by the way, they're called surfaces. Just great banter between them, and you do get that there is a sense of camaraderie between them. I do also like that when eventually Emily seemingly attacks Ruby, trying to take her form, when the Doctor believes that Ruby has been killed and is now effectively being impersonated by a Chulder, you can definitely sense in him the kind of anger. I do also like that we saw in trailers that the Doctor had a conversation, I think probably back after following the events of Space Babies, when Carla, played by Michelle Greenidge, said to him, "Look, I can't stop Ruby from travelling with you. She wants to go, but I need you to promise me that you'll keep her safe." To which he has now broken that promise, and we know that having lost someone so dear to him, he's not gonna stop until they're all destroyed. But it ultimately turns out that Ruby was not destroyed. She actually managed to use the technology she had to escape capture, to escape her death, only is now being held effectively in an impossible situation until Rogue decides to save her and take her place, so that he and the Doctor had worked out a way. While Rogue had originally intended to send these creatures to the incinerator, the Doctor advised him to use a different method that would send them to an empty parallel universe. And when he chooses to take Ruby's place instead and then says to the Doctor, "Come find me," honestly, I felt for the Doctor there. I felt truly heartbroken, because I know that this might seem a bit too much, but I'd say, is it too early to start a petition to get Jonathan Groff back into Doctor Who? Because I need to see more Rogue. I mean, Rogue is eminently reminiscent of John Barrowman's Captain Jack Harkness, but the last time we saw Captain Jack Harkness was back in 2021, and it's unlikely we're going to see Captain Jack Harkness again due to John Barrowman's misconduct, shall we say. But you know what, I'll take Rogue, and to me he was just a great character, and I need to see more of him. We all do need to see more of him. Call him a rip-off Captain Jack Harkness all you like, sure he is, but I still think he was a great character, and we need to see more of him. He ultimately banishes himself along with the Chulder to another universe while telling the Doctor to come and find him. We also like that when the Doctor tries to incite scandal earlier in the party with him, and Rogue doesn't know what to do, so Rogue offers him a ring. Like, marriage proposals. To which the character is evidently gay, but as people have said, people are gay in today's society, and people who don't accept that need to get over it. But I also do like that at the end of the story, when everything's kind of wrapping up, Ruby says to the Doctor, okay, what do we do now? It's like, well, we go on. Next adventure. Onward ho! And she's like, no, look, stop. Look, you need to take a minute to accept. There's like, there's nothing to accept. Let's just go. And she hugs him. And from there, I'm kind of reminded of a moment that Shooting Outwards Doctor had with David Tennant back in The Giggle, back last year, to which Shooty said to the Doctor, we're doing rehab out of order. I'm okay, I'm good because you fixed yourself. Yeah, and I kind of feel like in that one moment the Doctor is almost regressing slightly until Ruby says to him, no, look, you need to stop and acknowledge it. So, yeah, this was a story that I felt had a ton of great atmosphere, some really good moments, some funny moments, some awkward moments, some great chemistry, and as I said, the world demands more Rogue. Is it too early to get him back and get him a spin-off? Because Jonathan Groff as Rogue, we need him back. Back alongside Shooting Gatwa. If we get to see him again, I'll be happy. So, once again, I'm sorry for my poor vocals. I'll hopefully get my cold better over time, but there we go. Also, the final mystery that we have is that Ruby notices a painting, a portrait, and the portrait looks awfully familiar. The same woman who they've been seeing time and time again. Who exactly is she? Well, the next episode coming up, The Legend of Ruby Sunday, we may be about to find out. Anyway, I'll see you next week with hopefully a better voice than I do now.